Hello and welcome to Black Economics TV. We have with us today Jedidah, an artist, and she is from the UK. She lives over in the southwest of the country, down in Devon. And I met her at a Black Business show. And she was there with her stall, with all her artwork. There were lots of people coming up, asking about her art, people buying her art. It was fantastic to see. And I thought it would be lovely to introduce her to the wider world via Black Economics TV. Welcome, Jedidah.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm going to say, I love your hair. It's
Thank
fantastic.
you.
Is there a story behind your hair?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I don't look like this every day. I'm a mom of three, and it's a juggling act with everything.
Yes, you
Um,
do look
but
stunning.
thank you. But the this is a signature look for me that kind of relates to my art in the sense that so growing up, because I grew up in Zimbabwe post-colonial times, and growing up, I just wanted to have straight hair. That's all I wanted. And I would put like a little kitchen towel on my head and shake my head like this to pretend it was, straight hair. So I think now that I'm older, I've learned to embrace my natural Afro hair. And that's why I like to paint about it, because I think regardless of our background, it's good to celebrate who we are and the thing that we're born with. It's not great to try and change it. I think it's more beneficial to just embrace what you have and to just learn to love it. So yeah. So I'm learning to love my Afro basically.
Okay, and you have some of your artwork behind you. Please tell us about some of your favorites.
So the one at the far end, that's part of a range that I do that's inspired by African queens. So what I do is I find a real queen from African history, and then I paint a painting inspired by her story. So the reason why this type of history is important to me is because growing up, I was never told about African women or Black women that achieved a lot in history. Unfortunately, a lot of the messages I used to hear about women were very negative. And as I said, I wanted to be a different race. And I think if I had been taught about these women, it really would have taught me to value, my heritage. So anyway, so that's why I do the artworks inspired by African queens. And then this one is from a range that celebrates our hair. So again, the word slay is just celebrate what you have. I like to incorporate African materials in my art. So this one has got graffiti, it's got ink, it's got texture. I love using texture. So I
Hmm.
like to just play with lots of different materials and just produce something different.
Okay, so you use mixed media then in some of your works.
I
Okay,
do.
that's interesting. So is that work for sale? How much is it for sale for?
So this one measures 1 meter by 1 meter. Her name is Runako. So Runako in my language, my mother tongue Shona means beauty. And so this one's for sale for £3,000. And as I said, Runako means beauty, but it's more about celebrating the beauty within.
Okay. And then you have a
Yes.
third one on the right hand side.
So these ones are a little bit different. They are inspired by African queens again, and they incorporate fabric. So actually, the funny
Mm.
thing is that fabric was from my mom. And I, yeah, decided to cut it up and turn it into art, which she doesn't know. But
Oh, really?
I'm
Okay.
not going
Well,
to tell her.
It looks
So yeah, so
amazing.
so I went to Zimbabwe 2 years ago, and I realized I went on holiday, and I realized that they use a lot of fabric in their artwork. So I came back and I thought, I'm going to try that. So yeah, so I like to cut it up and create it into dresses and let it flow off the canvas because I love the whole 3D element. And these ones are inspired by Kushite queens.
Mm.
They're also known as the Candaces. And apparently, I think this is around sort of Sudan area. There was a time when they just literally had a whole line of females ruling.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, I can't remember what year that was, but I just found that so inspiring. It's really interesting. I've got the information on my website, but yeah, I just love the idea of a whole line of women ruling for, a long period of time. It was so inspiring because, as
And
I
what is
said, I
your
never heard.
website?
So my website is Onai Art, which is ONAIIART art.com.
Okay, and we will put it underneath the description as well. Okay, so
Yeah.
that one in the middle, the picture in the middle, the 1 meter by 1 meter. How
Yes.
long would it take you to do this artwork from
Well,
start to finish?
this one it's a funny one because I was at an exhibition in London and someone came to me, a complete stranger. He said, "Oh, can you please create a graffiti style piece for an exhibition that I'm going to have?" Because I had a similar piece but smaller. So it didn't take me long. I think it was kind of being fueled by that excitement and I was just so like, wow, this complete strangers asked me to do something for an exhibition. Like it was the first time that it happened. So
Oh,
initially I put the texture down. This has got flowers that are sort of texture, so you need to allow that to dry over a couple of days, and then it was spray painting it, um, and then putting the images in the background, the words in the background, and then you finish off with the portrait at the front. So I wouldn't say it took me more than 2 weeks, but it's allowing each stage to dry.
yes, of course. Okay, fair enough. Now, let's go back a bit. When did you first realize you had a talent for art?
I think that's a tricky question because do we know that we have a talent for something? I don't know. I've always known I love drawing. So even as a
Mm.
little kid, I was drawing all the time. I was very shy. I would sit in my room on the floor and just be drawing. I would draw with my dad. I would take my drawings to school and draw with my friends. Um, but I suppose I knew people always liked my work because there were a lot
Mm.
of adults around me at the time that encouraged me, even at
Oh,
school, high school. My friends would make a fuss about my art. Um,
oh,
so,
wow. That's
so
great.
I think we always doubt ourselves, don't we? So after school, I didn't manage to make art a career, but fast forward years later, basically my kids encouraged me because I started doodling again. My children are older now. They were like, "Mum, just go, just go on Instagram." Um, and I don't know. I think looking back at some of my earlier pieces, I'm like, ugh. So I have worked hard at making my artwork better, you know. So I think I don't know. Do I know I have a talent? I know I have a passion for it. I know I love it, and I know people are touched by my art. So yeah,
I think you're being very humble. You know you have a talent, but you kind of don't want to say, "Oh yeah, I'm pretty good at what I do," because you are good. You are brilliant.
you. I love it. I absolutely love it. So yeah.
So, would you say you were self-taught, or did you at some point do some courses in art?
I would say I'm mainly self-taught, yes, but from time to time, if there's something that I'm struggling with, there is someone that I know who sort of helps me, you know.
Okay,
Yeah, and he gives me feedback as well from time to time if there's a piece that I'm not quite sure about. Yeah.
okay, okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're living in the southwest, apparently in Devon. How's it
Yeah.
living down there?
Well, it's not very multicultural. It is becoming more so, but when it comes to my art, I think when when I decided to make this into a business as opposed to a hobby, I was creating it for people like me.
Mm.
So when I found that local people love it and can relate to it and they find it inspirational, especially the series that's inspired by African queens, I was like, wow, okay. So I do, the pieces that are inspired by my childhood, but also I do pieces that are inspired by the local scenery. So I do a lot of florals, I will paint surf girls. Sometimes I don't surf, but yeah, I will paint that, So I do all sorts, but I think that the range that really speaks to me and a lot of people are the African inspired artworks.
Okay, great. Well, we're going
Yeah.
to put some of your uh, paintings up on the screen as we continue to talk, so people can see
Okay.
the length and breadth of what you have done. So you
Okay.
said that your location sometimes inspires your art. So it's good that you do some nature scenery. Do you do seascapes as well?
Yeah, I used to do a lot of seascapes, but I've been trying to niche down. But yes, I do have abstract style seascapes as well, because abstract style is something that I wanted to try because obviously a
Mm.
lot of my works are figurative. I thought I really want to try abstract. It looks difficult. Let me have a go. And I did it and it was amazing. Like I loved doing it. I was
Oh,
able to incorporate texture into it as well. So with everything that I do, the main theme is resilience. So even if I'm painting a flower, it's inspired by the strength that a flower has, because for me, I think that that thing about having courage and resilience and empowerment is very important for me. So that's the theme of my art, regardless of what I paint.
okay. Now, art has been said to be therapeutic, really good for mental health, fantastic hobby. How do you find it for you?
Oh, it's been amazing, honestly. Like I said, it's helped me to on my journey with self-acceptance, but also I have painted one of my children when she was going through a tough time. I remember there was a piece that I was literally finishing off as I was taking her to hospital. So I painted it for her to inspire her. But what touched me is that a couple of days later, somebody bought it. He was actually someone in the army. Like I hadn't envisioned it touching someone like that. But he
Mm.
sent me this really long letter about how that piece had touched
Oh,
him.
wow.
From my pain to his because his father-in-law was in hospital at the time. So I think it's very therapeutic, as the artist who's doing it, because you face challenges with every piece, and also you're kind of bringing out all the emotions inside. But it's also therapeutic for the person who then sees it, who maybe is
Mm.
not able to create something like that.
That's right. That's right. It's interesting because 2 days ago, one of my daughters went to a sip and paint party. You heard of
Right.
those, haven't you?
Yes, I do those as well.
They seem to be very popular. She was saying,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. Think I could be an artist. It's almost like she felt that there was a talent that was hidden that nobody
Mm,
had pulled out before. And
yeah.
I thought that was really amazing. These sip and paint parties are popular around London.
Yeah.
I don't know who first came up with the idea, but it's brilliant.
Apparently it's American. But I mean, because I heard somewhere recently actually that it's like a form of meditation when you're painting because you really have to be absorbed in what you're doing,
Yes,
but in a
yes.
relaxed way. So, yeah.
Okay. Now tell me, in terms of your art, do you sell prints as well as original artwork?
Yes, I do. Although with some of my pieces, like the ones with the fabric, I wouldn't create a print of that because it's difficult, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm.
But I do
Okay.
generally do both, yeah.
Okay. Now, how about exhibitions? We met at an exhibition. What other exhibitions do you do?
So I do kind of what's available locally, but also I like to go to other places, like London, where we met. I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional about the the events that I get involved in.
Hmm.
So, something slightly different that I did last year, I went to a Black History event at a bank in London and spoke about my artwork to
Oh,
complete
brilliant.
strangers. So that was different. It was good fun. Again, something different I did last year, I went into a school and created a massive artwork inspired by Black history with the kids. That was good fun as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So is your studio in your home or do you have a separate studio?
No, this is in my home, so it's really convenient. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I have a room, but I tend to paint in my bathroom
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the light is
Okay.
better. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Right. Do
Yeah.
you have a situation where you take commissions?
I do commissions as well, and I like doing commissions because then I can paint whatever the person wants me to paint, whether it's a sunset or a wedding. I think one of the things of being a professional artist is there is that pressure to niche down. I mean, I kind of see it as a pressure, but I understand that from a marketing point of view, it's a benefit to be known for the one thing. So when I do commissions, then there is that freedom to paint other things that sort of don't
Yes,
fall within my signature art.
absolutely. Okay. Do you paint on camera? Do you have videos of you actually at work?
Yeah, I do, and I try to record as much as possible, and I put them on Instagram, TikTok.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I do love watching people paint. I know for others it'd be like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's like watching paint dry. But to actually see how something goes from a blank canvas to a work of art is just fascinating to watch. Yeah, so well done with that.
I have sold, to other countries, so yeah.
Okay, brilliant. So you're international.
Yeah, getting there.
Okay. What did you do before you became an artist full time? Did you have another profession in another life?
I did actually work for solicitors.
Oh wow, okay.
So
Very
I
different.
was I was trained to become a legal exec. I was a paralegal at the time. But then my eldest decided to come along, so that put
Mhm.
a stop to that.
Okay,
Everybody makes different decisions, don't they, when it comes to career, but I don't have family around, and I wanted to be with her, so I stopped the career and looked after my children. So that's why everything kind of came to a stop. But because as they're older, as I said, they kind of encouraged me to take up the art.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, are they artistic?
Um, I think they're all creative in their own ways, but they haven't kind of decided to actually just stick with it, if that makes sense. They don't give it
Mm,
time. Yeah, they're
mm.
still young, I think.
Yeah, yeah. They have plenty of time to decide what they want to do, and maybe they might decide to go in that direction later on in life. So yeah,
Yeah. So
it's
one
up
of
to.
my daughters, she writes, she
Oh,
writes poetry, which I can't do. My other daughter likes to sew, so
oh,
yeah.
oh. So you have a writer and a fashion designer in the house.
Yeah. And the son that likes to game. So
Oh,
I
right.
don't know where
Okay.
creativity comes in with that. So
Well, he could think of some games and see if he can write them.
yeah, good idea.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. Do you teach other people how to do art?
I do. So I do the sip and paints, and then I do private lessons
Oh,
online. So I do all age groups. I have a class with little 6-year-olds. That's the cutest thing.
oh,
So sweet. I love them. And as I said, I do adults as well. But regardless of the age, I do teach the, fundamentals of art. I think it's important to know about color, composition, and drawing skills and all of that.
okay. So you do art lessons online. Do you do some in
Yeah.
person as well?
Well, I could do, but yeah, at the moment I don't have any in-person clients, but unless it's a sip and paint, so yeah.
Okay, okay. Oh, that's good. Well, if you were closer to London, I'll be popping along for some lessons too, but it doesn't matter because we can do it online.
Definitely,
So
yeah.
anybody who wants some art lessons from you, they should definitely contact you. So we will put your details underneath. Do you have any other hobbies apart from your business, which is art? Do you have other hobbies?
The gym. I love working out. I
Okay,
love reading as well. I love spending time with my kids, watching movies and that sort of thing. Yeah. I think
okay,
I probably had a lot more hobbies before, but now it's like time becomes less, doesn't it? So,
okay. Can
yeah.
I ask, are those earrings painted by you?
I wish these are just Amazon, good old Amazon. Earrings are my thing. I have so many large earrings. Yeah.
Well, can I make a suggestion? You should get some blanks and paint some of them.
Yeah, it's a good idea. I don't know, but I just think like my painting style is not precise. I think if I'm going to do earrings, they both have to be the same. I kind of like to be a bit more, you know what I mean? I'm not haphazard, but I don't know what the word is, but
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know another artist like that. He only wants to paint one thing once. He doesn't want to copy and paint it again and again. So
Yeah.
if you haven't bought that one thing from him, too bad, and he doesn't do prints.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand that. So can you tell me about any challenges you have when you started the artwork as a business?
Well, as I said, my children were very encouraging. They wanted it for me, which was lovely. But unfortunately, my partner at the time was supportive in the sense that, financially, I was able to sort of help. He was able to help with money and that sort of thing. But I think there was a bit of a resentment when it comes to time. Um, because you do have to get that time now to build this business up. So that was one challenge where I felt under pressure to be making money quickly or to kind of know what I'm doing, which I didn't. I'd never run a business before. This was new. I'd been a mum for years.
Hmm.
So I've had to learn and I'm still learning. So I need to be patient with myself when I make mistakes. And it's nice when other people are as well. But one of the best decisions I made was to get a mentor. And she
Hmm.
was amazing because she literally taught me absolutely everything. So I would encourage people, if they can, to try and get someone, um, perhaps not someone within the family, but like an independent person who's going to guide them through when you're starting a business because, there's a lot involved. And if it has been a hobby, and you have to turn it into a business, that's something different. Or if you're creative like me and tend to live in a different world most of the time, and now suddenly you have to think about money and contacting people, and that's different. So yeah, it's nice when you have that support and guidance, and hopefully people around you that are going to be patient and encourage you and cheer you on, and even when times are hard, because artists like this, you're
Yeah,
not making money every month. It's not something that people buy every month.
yeah.
So yeah, so you need people next to you who are kind of cheering you on, and yeah.
I think you're quite right. It is important to have someone who's going to be supportive and outside the family because family and partners can be the worst ones to discourage you in a
Yeah.
business, to be honest. There'll be times when, yeah, they're all there for you, but then they flag. And then when they flag, they try and perhaps pull you down, not maliciously, but perhaps they're not as patient as you in terms of what you're really trying to achieve. So well done in getting a mentor. Being in
Yeah.
business also can be quite lonely because you're not in a
Yeah.
workplace environment where you have a boss always telling you what to do and people to interact with.
Yeah.
So, that was a really good thing that you did. So well done.
Yeah.
Well
I
done. How
I
do you
think
find
with
the mark? Sorry, you go on.
Oh, I was just going to sort of be honest and say I think as creatives, we just want to be painting all day. But, you know, there comes a time when you realize that, you can't be painting all day. You actually need to go out there and start making some money to pay for that painting.
I hear you. I hear
Yeah.
you. Because in some
Mhm.
ways, I like to create as well. I do a lot of writing. But yeah, at some point, you have to stop and do some marketing, do some promotion, get out there, go to meetings, network, meet potential customers. So
Yeah.
you're absolutely right there. How do you do your marketing? You mentioned Instagram and TikTok. Are there other things that you do?
Yeah, so again, for people who are starting off, I would encourage you um to get email lists and start an email list and start email marketing. The advantage of that is that number one, it's easy to track and see who's opening your emails, what are they looking at, and then that helps you then to be able to follow up. So another advantage as well is what I do, with the help of my mentor, this was her idea, is initially I send out some emails just introducing myself. So that way they get to know you, they know your inspiration, they know your story. And then after that, you keep in touch with them regularly and you can send them promotions. So yes, email marketing, social media. I do studio visits as well.
Mm.
Um, come to my studio, have a cup of coffee, have a look at the
Oh, wow,
artwork,
really?
and watch me paint if you want to. So it's all about building relationships with people, not necessarily just about selling. So yeah.
Oh my goodness, I would have been down to your studio next week if you weren't 500 miles away.
Well, if you come to this area, you're most welcome.
Oh wow, visit the studio as well and see you at work. Fantastic. That's brilliant. Well
Yeah.
done. So you
So,
do
mhm.
do you do cold emails? This is where you're looking at potential clients or customers and just send them an email.
I wouldn't do that. I have to admit I have done it once or twice. It's not a good idea. I think it's a good idea to build a relationship first with that person because I've received cold emails and I've not liked it. And I can tell when someone's not really found out about me, but they want me to do this thing, right?
Hmm.
But when someone knows that you've taken the time to get to know them and you're actually
Hmm.
offering them value, then
Hmm.
they're more likely to want to work with you.
Okay. That's a
Yeah.
very good point. That's a very good point. So perhaps reach out perhaps more on social media first, get to know the person a bit, let them get to know you. And then perhaps you might say, if you have an email address, I can send you such and such.
Yeah. Yeah. So even, if I'm having an exhibition, if I meet someone, if they give me their email address, I'm also wanting to offer them value. I'm
Mm.
not trying to just sell. It's trying to see how I can help them, how I can enhance their life as well. And I tend to share things. As I said, the theme of my artwork is resilience. So I tend to share anything that I found inspirational that's going to help them on their journey as well.
That's fantastic. So you might share bits about your life and things you've been through.
Yeah. Or podcasts that I've been listening to, or just anything. Yeah.
Okay, that's brilliant. We will certainly post the website details and let people see what it is that you do, and also post your Instagram so that people can come along and see what you've been doing and see some of your art in motion, where you actually do the art on camera as well. I think that would be
Yeah.
great for people to see.
Yeah. They should say hi when they send me a message on Instagram. Just let me know what you thought of the interview as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for your time.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. You look after yourself.
Thank you. You too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
So, I've always wanted to go into schools and talk to our young ones about the empowering side of Black history. I think it's mainly because I don't think the empowering side of our history is highlighted. And of course, growing up myself, I definitely was not told about the queens from my history that achieved a lot. I feel like if I had known, it would have made a huge difference to how I viewed myself and how much I valued my heritage. So when I was approached by an organization called Bee Hugs, who invited me to go into a local school, I was super excited. So I asked the children to either draw or write something that they found empowering. And then I took all these bits and created a beautiful collage inspired by an African queen. What do you think?